Good evening, Black women. Hello, friends. Let's talk about who can afford to sit out the next Black migration. I know that this is an evening, it's the night before Thanksgiving, so some of you are busy doing things, but hopefully you have time to chit chat, maybe just have me on the screen if you're doing things. And then others of you like me ain't doing nothing. Okay. I'm in exotic Dover, Delaware at my parents' house. Tomorrow we go to my cousin's house for Thanksgiving. My parents are baking. I am eating. Okay. And I wanted to talk with y'all this evening. If you're watching me from Instagram, feel free to come over to YouTube. My YouTube channel is Stephanie Perry. All right. Hi, friends. Good evening. Who can afford to sit out this Black migration? I think I've made it clear. I believe there's a great Black migration that's underway. And instead of this time it being Black people moving from the rural South, that's a word I have a hard time saying, but you know what I'm saying, the rural South to cities in the South and to the North. Instead of that, this Black migration is Black people leaving the United States. I think that that's underway. I think that once whoever, historians or anthropologists or whatever, once they start studying this, they'll say, oh, the start date was, and it'll be earlier in the 2020s than we are today. It's already underway. And I do a lot of working, talking to help you if you want to participate. If you and your family want to participate, if you want to leave the country to live better, right? To go to a place that is safer and more welcoming and more affordable and more has better health care and better public policy and better leadership. If you want to go to a place other than your country, I help Black women do that. I'm the co-founder of Exodus Summit. Hi, my name is Stephanie Perry, co-founder of Exodus Summit. But today I'd like to talk about who maybe might think they can sit this out. Who do we think in Black people world can probably sit out this migration and maybe be okay? That's what I'd like to talk about today. Hi, everybody. Hey, so I'm trying to do more things in my glasses. First of all, the computer glare is bonkers. I'm pretty sure I paid for something without glare, but whatever. So, hey, CC, I don't think that's what that says. Winning in the workplace. Hello, hello. Shatina 76. Hey, 10 Fingers Music. Hi, everyone. Hey, Natasha Baldwin. Create from Calm with April. Hi, Pure Pandemonium. Hi. Hey, Coach Donna Marie. Hi, everybody. Black Business Concierge. Everybody's here. Hey, Natural Bay. Okay, friends, if you haven't said hi yet, go ahead and say hi in the chat. If you're watching on Instagram, come on over to YouTube. You'll like it better. Okay, you'll be able to talk with everyone easier. Okay, and I'm going to shut the Instagram. I'm going to stop the Instagram in just a few minutes. It's a new feature. I think it's a new feature that StreamYard lets you do, and I'm using it to my advantage. Because I know there's some Instagram friends who are always like, oh, I missed you. I missed your live. Now, hopefully you'll see the live. Okay, hi. Thank you, everyone, for saying hi. How's everybody? So nice to see you. So I cut my thumb just now, trying to take the top off of my makeup container to scrape out the last little bit of makeup in my powder. Cut my thumb pretty good. And if I was in another country, I'm in Dover, Delaware. If I was in Colombia at home, I might have considered having a house call and having a doctor come and throw a couple stitches in my thumb. But in the United States, I don't think I get good care. I'm Black, I'm fat, I'm over 50. And I don't think I get good. Even as a younger person, I don't have an experience with good health outcomes when I go to healthcare providers in the United States. And maybe I might say a little more about that later. So trigger warning, I guess. But I don't have an experience of good health outcomes, so it's never my first response to go and get care in the United States. And as a resident of Mexico, can I show you my Mexican residency card, right? As a 4-year temporary resident of Mexico, I got to cover up the important stuff. Okay, boom. Okay, as a 4-year temporary resident of Mexico and as a person who lives in Colombia, I'm trying to unlearn that. I'm trying to unlearn the fact that going to the doctor won't help me, right? Going to try to get healthcare is going to just end up worse than where I started. Also, I figured there's no point in going because it's going to cost $1 million for them to stitch up my finger. It's going to be in the hundreds. Close, it'd probably be close to $1,000, I would guess, to get a couple stitches in my thumb. I don't think it's worth all that. I don't think it's necessary. I think I'll be okay. And worst come to worst, I fly into Bogota early Sunday morning. If I got to see somebody, I'll see them there. My health insurance policy in Bogota, Colombia is $1,800 for a year. And that includes house calls. It includes house calls. I had the COVID maybe April. No, it wasn't April. August or September after my birthday. And house calls are included in my $1,800 per year policy, bougie healthcare policy. And even if I didn't have the bougie policy, house calls are more they're normal. It's a normal way to get care around the world. And so I just was thinking about this. Who can wait this out? If Black people have a regular, when I say to people, I don't have a good experience getting healthcare in the United States. People, Black women are always like, yeah. When I say that, I'm Black, I'm fat, I don't get good care. I don't walk into a doctor's office or a hospital as a human person, right? They don't view me as a human person. They don't give me the same amount of care they give to the white lady. Black women are always like, yeah, right? That's how it is. And I think that that's the first reason on the list that I think, or a reason on the list that I can't understand why more Black people are not making their exodus, are not planning their time away from the United States, are not planning to leave this place. If you're on Instagram, I'm going to go ahead and close it out because I can't do two things at once. I'm not even sure the Instagram thing even worked, but let's see. No, it did. I don't think I was live, but maybe I'm live. I'm not sure. If you're seeing this on Instagram, hi, come over to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Stephanie Perry. I'd like to chat with you about sitting out the Black migration. And I don't think you heard the story about healthcare, but I'd like to talk with you about those things. So come over to my YouTube channel. Okay. Thank you, Instagram friends. I'm trying to learn how to do this new thing on StreamYard. I think I did a good job on Saturday, but I don't think I did a good job today. So if you want to chat with me, come over to my, let's keep both live for a minute so that I think I wasn't live on Instagram. All right. So who can afford to sit out the next Black migration? Not anyone who needs healthcare to live. Okay. If you need to be viewed as a human person worthy of treatment and healthcare, and not have someone having accusations thrown at you when you walk into a doctor's office or a hospital with pain or with some sort of physical complaint, I don't think you can afford to sit out the Black migration. This Black migration that is Black people leaving the United States and moving abroad. I don't know that you can afford to sit it out if healthcare is if healthcare is going to keep you alive. I don't know if you can afford to sit it out. So when I was in the Army, I got free health care, but I didn't get good health. I didn't get care like every other soldier, right? When I walked in with a complaint, one time I went there and I told the lady, I said, I'm pretty sure it's a migraine, but it feels like a stroke. And don't you know, 2 or 3 hours later, I'm still not seen. If I was a white woman and I walked into that house, to that emergency room in the hospital that I worked in, if I walked in and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a migraine, but it could also be a stroke. I feel like I could also be having a stroke. This is not like any migraine I've had, and I've had migraines since I was in middle school, right? Would it have taken her 2 or 3 hours to be seen on a regular weeknight, right? With not a whole lot going on. They put me in a little room, they closed the door, and they just forgot I was in there. Right? And then when I went later after that, I went back to just a regular doctor's appointment with the complaint of migraines that are coming more frequently than ever before. It was just like, well, come back next time you have one, right? And then I went in for the beard, which is not a serious problem, right? I went in to see, is it something? Is it hormonal? And they're like, we're not doing any tests on you. I'm like, this is the Army. They do everything for everybody. And we're not doing any tests. The lady just diagnosed me with something I didn't have. She diagnosed me with polycystic ovaries, PCOS, and then didn't do anything about it. And it turns out it's not PCOS. I already knew it wasn't PCOS. Anyway, don't have an experience of healthcare providers looking at me and saying this is a person that I'm going to treat with dignity. Not in the United States. But I've been to healthcare providers on maybe 3 or 4 different continents. Central America is still, I don't know how you count Central. Well, Central and South America, Asia, Australia. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe 2 continents, 2 other continents? No, well, 2 or 3. And I've never walked in and been like, I don't think they would treat a white woman this way in other countries, right? Sometimes I get effusive greetings and treatment where I'm like, they're just happy to see a black woman. They don't see too many black women. There's no reason for my dermatologist to hug me like she does. She hugs me every time. I don't know, because I came into the dermatologist when her previous patient was leaving. She didn't hug that lady. She hugged me when I came in, when I left, right? So I don't think I've gotten care in the United States on the level of any white woman. And that's not how things happen in other countries. And so I think if you need healthcare to live, I don't think you can afford to sit out this next Black migration. And we're thinking about this because I cut my thumb. And if you're watching on Instagram, I didn't get to, you missed some of this. I cut my thumb today and I'm like, if I were in Colombia, I would probably go and have a couple stitches put in. But I'm not dealing with that here. I'm not dealing with that. I don't like people treating me poorly. I don't like the way it feels. And so I don't participate, to my own detriment sometimes, right? Because even in Colombia, it took me too long to go to the doctor because I'm carrying that history, those memories with me, right? Hi, Dee. Dee says, I love my Mexican healthcare providers. Dee's in Mexico City, right? Nice people. They just see you as a person, except when being Black has except when they need to see you as a Black person, right? My dermatologist, she's like, well, this laser, you want to talk about this beard, this laser is not going to work for you because of your skin color, and this is this, and right. So it's not like she doesn't know I'm Black, but I'm not getting worse treatment than somebody else because I'm a Black woman. And I think we all kind of have to expect, if you're going to come out of the US healthcare system without losing it or without going to prison, you kind of have to expect when you walk into the US healthcare system that you're not going to get the same treatment as you would if you were a white woman. You kind of have to expect that you're going to have to advocate for yourself more loudly, but more gently, right? More advocacy, but less volume. So I think you can't afford to sit out the next Black migration if you're going to need healthcare to live. Okay, now I'm going to end the Instagram live. Okay, friends, come on over to YouTube. My YouTube channel is Stephanie Perry. I will finish this up on YouTube. Thank you. Thanks for being here, Instagram friends. Happy days. Happy day. All right, who else do I think can't afford to sit it out? I think financially, if you okay, I think now I can focus. It's hard doing 2 things, it's hard. But I think, wait. Let's do one more thing. Okay, now I think I can focus. I think financially, if your daycare bill looks like a mortgage payment or a rent payment, you cannot afford to sit out this next Black migration. So I'm Stephanie Perry. I don't remember if I introduced myself. I'm the co-creator of Exodus Summit. Exodus Summit is a community of 26,000 Black women who are planning their exodus from the United States. Okay. And on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel, just this week, is that video live? Yeah, it's live. On the Exodus Summit YouTube channel, we just interviewed Rebecca, and I'm going to get that link for you. We just talked to Rebecca from the Washington, D.C. area. Her two-year-old daughter's daycare in D.C. was $2,600 a month. She's in the Exodus ASAP membership. And when she said that number, Rashida and I almost fell out of our chairs, but the other women in the community were like, yeah, that's what daycare costs, right? Like, that's what daycare costs. Women on the East Coast and Californians, they were like, yeah, that's what it costs today. I think if you're paying a mortgage payment for daycare, you cannot afford to sit out this next Black migration. Let me get that video link for you. If you're a mother and you're considering moving abroad, you'll hear Rebecca's conversation. So now her whole month's expense is the same as what her daycare used to cost in Washington, D.C. I'll tell you, she went to Panama. But if you want to see the rest, you're going to have to look at the video. Copy and paste. And this is Rebecca and baby moved to Panama. Copy and send. Okay. When she said the number, the other women in our community, she was in the Exodus ASAP membership over the summer, and then they moved to Panama in, I'm gonna tell you, you know how I do. I spoil a lot of things, but she decided to move in, I believe, April. She was in the Exodus ASAP membership, May, June, July, and she moved to Panama with her baby in July or August. Okay. And now her hi, Diane. Diane was in Exodus ASAP with her. And Diane is now in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. Yeah. Her full month's expenses are what she used to pay just for daycare, which is very similar to what she used to pay just for her mortgage. If you don't have a daycare expense, but you do have a mortgage payment, a lot of women in our community live abroad on what they used to just pay for their mortgage, right? What used to be the mortgage payment or the rent payment is now their full month. Okay. Exodus ASAP is Rashida's and my coaching community. ExodusASAP.com is where you go to join us if you want coaching on getting your Peace Out protocol together. We have a challenge coming up December 1st. I'll tell you about in a little bit. Okay. So I think if you have one expense that is drowning you, I think you can't afford to sit out this next Black migration. Doesn't have to be daycare. It can be other kinds of debt. So I understand people who want to pay off all of their debt before they move abroad, but I think that's a mistake for a lot of people because you have more money to put towards the debt if you can leave the country and be somewhere with a better cost of living, right? Imagine if your whole life only costs what your housing payment costs today, how much easier it would be to pay down that debt, whether it's student loans or unsecured debt, credit card debt, or something else. The mortgage, if you get a renter in your home, you go to someplace less expensive, you pay off the mortgage, you own the home outright, right? Those are things that women in our community think about because it's really hard to get ahead in the United States when cost of living, when pay is not keeping up with cost of living. Now, when you move abroad, we're not talking about you moving abroad and getting a job in another country. For most people, that won't work. For most American people, getting a job in another country is not going to work for a few different reasons. Either because they're not going to let you just get a job in another country. Just like in the United States, it's not really easy to come over here and get a job as a foreigner because they don't want you taking jobs from other people, right? It's not easy. Same with other countries. And then the other reason is that what they'll pay you, if you're going to most of the countries that women in our community are interested in, is a whole lot less than you're used to getting paid. And you can probably do better with a remote job, your own business, investment income, some other way, right? Diamond Empress says, go digital, right? You can probably do better financially by not getting a traditional job in another country. There are exceptions. If you know that you're in a job that is in like a shortage and a demand, right? If you know that they're always putting out calls, Canada not too long ago put out a call for people in, I think, healthcare and education or something. I don't know. If you know that you do something that anywhere in the world people would hire you, then you have a different, you're in a different place. And maybe you may be one of those people who'll get a job in another country. Another exception, another group of people who it can make sense to get a job in another country for is people who work for a multinational company. If you work for Deloitte, I have no idea what Deloitte does, but I know everywhere you go, you see the Deloitte building. And any city in the world, there's the Deloitte building, okay? So if you work for Deloitte and they can transfer you to another country, you may make out a whole lot better that way. And then another exception is if you work in education or you want to be a teacher. If you are or want to be a teacher abroad, teaching abroad is a good pathway to moving abroad, to having a job and living in another country. Teachers and people in education get recruited to go abroad. And then if you're not already in education, you can get yourself qualified or certified to teach abroad. We had a good session on that in Exodus Summit 2025. So it's good. Those are the people who there's an exception for. For the rest of us, getting a job in another country is probably not it. It's going to be getting either a truly remote job, not work from home, but truly remote. You can be anywhere in the world, or doing your own things, consulting, freelancing, virtual assistant work, something else. Okay. Speaking of which, tax preparer is one of those work from anywhere jobs. So TRSC says, after Exodus Summit, I applied for a job as a part-time tax preparer to get more experience and run a remote tax practice like the session taught. Oh, congratulations, TRSC. Putting it to work. Yes, putting it to use. Take the knowledge and put the knowledge to work for you. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so then tax preparation season is coming up soon. I assume January through April. And then after that, keep us posted. Okay, keep us posted on what you're going to do after that. That's wonderful. All right. And then New Beginning Zero said, I was just looking up remote tax preparer, signed up to get her TEFL. So this is about teaching English as a foreign language, and signed up for mystery shopping. So you must be in the Exodus ASAP membership too. Don't tell me your name unless you want me to shout out your name, your government name. But New Beginning Zero knows about mystery shopping because in Exodus ASAP, we just had a special session on mystery shopping. Darlene did that session. Is that Darlene? Yeah, Darlene did that session. Mystery shopping is a way that you can get travel. Being a mystery shopper is a way that you can get travel for free, or other things that you would need in the world, travel and other things for free. Okay, so that's the second group. Oh, good. Look at this. Odd Girl 82, thanks to your encouragement, Stephanie, I finally decided to work 6 months on, 6 months off, living in Latin America. Congratulations. That's wonderful. This figuring out for yourself what you want and then doing that thing is revolutionary, right? It's life-changing. So congratulations. That's wonderful. Okay, that's one of the things we talked about in Exodus Summit 2025 this year. What can you do that you can do for a little while, make enough money to live the rest of the year? Okay. Okay. So who cannot afford to sit this out? We said, if you have a big old financial burden hanging off your back, right? If you got a financial bear that you're dragging around with you, might be daycare, but some expense that either the expense could be lower if you moved abroad, or you would just have more money to put to that expense if you moved abroad. So student loan debt, I know that some of you still have student loans. There's some women in this community who got their loans canceled. Congratulations. But roar, that's a bear. Roar. My bears go roar. Right? But some of you did not get your student loans canceled. and you still are paying on that student loan debt. If your whole life cost what just your housing costs today, how much more would you be able to put to whatever that debt or that big expense is? Now, I'll tell you, talking about the video for Rebecca and her daughter who moved to Panama, I'll tell you that she's still paying 400, or I want you to watch the video still, but she went from paying $2,600 a month for daycare to 400 and something dollars a month for daycare in Panama. And she's still paying for, it's pretty expensive daycare. It's like a private school. Her baby is 2, almost 3. Okay. But it's I got my notes here. Where are my notes? No, it must be in the other notebook. It's not that, she's still paying a good amount for Panama. $400 a month is a good amount for daycare. But that's all it is, for something, right? And she's talking about, she's having a little mommy guilt about getting a nanny, but that's the daycare parts, right? That's the daycare expense. Yes, good. Create from Calm with April. Are you saying that you got your loans canceled too? Congratulations. I hope that's what you're saying. Yeah, 440. Thank you, Lisa Free Feather. Yeah, she went from $2,600 a month in daycare to $440 in daycare by living in Panama City, Panama. And she's got friends. They just moved, I believe it was August, and she's about to cook Thanksgiving dinner for 11 people. Like, she knows that many people there. This is so let's add this. You can't afford to sit out this next Black migration if you need community support. If you need community care, right? If you need people who have the energy, the time, the ability to be in community with you, those people are moving, okay? Those people are leaving the country. Those people are migrating, okay? That's who's in the Black migration, this next Black migration, right? The people who would be your community, girl, they're in Panama. They're in Mexico City or San Miguel or Puerto, I can never get that place right. The other one. Y'all know. They're in Lisbon or Porto or Coimbra, Portugal. They're in Johannesburg. They're in Kenya, Tanzania, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, right? Those people, your community, your squad, the people who would come together for you or with you, that's where you'll find them. They are Black people who've left the United States, and they're local people, right? People who already live there. Your community is abroad. I really cannot tell you how many Black women in the Exodus Summit community have moved abroad and been like, now I have community, and I didn't even realize that was the thing I was missing until I got it. Right? We hear it every time. Every time. Lisa says she recently took the "which country should I move to" quiz, and it suggested Panama City. Panama City, you know, I'll stereotype and I'll give you my opinion on things. This doesn't mean you don't go there, okay? I think unless younger people move there, okay, or until younger people move there, Panama City is a place for retirement age people, I think. Now, Rebecca is not retirement age and her baby is 2. So maybe they see something I don't see. No, and then Rebecca made a friend who's also a mom from the United States with a 3 or 4-year-old child. So I guess maybe I didn't see, I saw retirement age people moving to Panama, is what I should say. And so maybe I should take all that back. I should take it all back. Take it all back. But Panama is affordable. They have a solid pathway to residency. They make it really clear. Here's how you get residency. If you are a senior, you get really good discounts. Panama is really like, seniors, come, okay? Let us spoil you. But even if you're not senior citizen age, they have a real pathway to residency for people that makes Panama such a great choice. How do you take the quiz? ADC. The quiz is at exodussummit.com/quiz. It's the which country should I move to quiz. This quiz will give you an answer. It's going to give you a country. It's going to give you a city, okay? But the questions are more important than the answer. So the answer is a place, the city that it tells you is a good place to start doing your research. But the questions that the quiz asks you to get you to that answer are the most important thing. Those are things that you need to think about, figure out, decide for yourself. Question is more important than the answer, but it will give you an answer, and that answer is a place to start research. Start researching. The pensionado visa sounds fine. The pensionado visa in Panama sounds divine. Girl, if you're now you can get the pensionado visa at any age. You have to have like $1,000 some per month in income for life, like a pension, like Social Security, like military veterans benefit, VA money, right? If you have $1,000, I think it's $1,000. Don't quote me on the exact figure, because I'll make up a number. But I think it's around $1,000 per month for life. You can get that pensionado visa. They don't care how old you are. You can be 18 with $1,000 for life, right? But if you're over 60, they spoil you with discounts and stuff, like regular everyday discounts in restaurants, discounts on airfare. Right? Can you imagine getting a discount on airfare because you're over 60? In the United States, the only people who can afford to do anything are people who are over 60. So the United States will never. But it's a really welcoming place. Panama, as the government goes, as far as the process of getting residency goes, Panama is a really welcoming place. Hey, Nina. Nina says, hit the like button, please. Thank you. All right, Diamond Empress is getting on her plane. I think you said this week, going to Vietnam, Bangkok, Chiang Mai. Let's go. Southeast Asia is wonderful. I think Black women I wish for all Black women to spend a significant time in Southeast Asia, just getting spoiled, treating yourself right at a low price. Okay, so who cannot afford to sit this Black migration out? If you need healthcare to live, if you have an expense in your life that is pulling you down, if you need more community support, either one of those things, I think you cannot afford to sit out this Black migration, okay? The Black migration is happening because we're leaving something bad and moving to something good. It's a two-pronged approach, right? It's not only running away from problems in the United States, which absolutely I think we should do. I think we should run from danger. I think we're in danger in the United States. I think they've practiced stripping people of rights. They've practiced it. They're just going to get more and more aggressive. They were like, oh, so all these states have revoked abortion rights in a flicker of an eye. Women started dying almost immediately from being unable to receive good health care in Ohio, in Texas, and wasn't really much of a fuss. Okay, all right. And now they're stripping just brown people of rights. It's going to keep going, okay? It's going to keep going. Who's next? Who do you think is next? Right? What do you think is next? So I think that the migration is happening because we want to make sure that we are running from danger. I'm 100% all in on that. Anytime somebody says you can't run from your problems, I'm like, that's false. You absolutely can run from your problems. If a man is beating a woman's brains out and she takes off out of the house running out, would you stop her and say, ma'am, you can't run from your problems? You absolutely run from problems. You run from problems. That's exactly It's exactly how you live. You run from problems, but we're also running to we're running to a better, right? A better way of living, a better cost of living, a better group of neighbors, right? Better people. We're running to as well as running from. Okay. Molly, you in danger, girl. We run from when people type that out, I'm like, I can't think of a problem I would tell people not to run from. I can't think of a problem that I would say don't run from that. Run from danger. Run from danger. Run to safety. Doesn't make sense. There are some like cliches out in the world that absolutely don't make sense. And that's one of them. You can't run from your problems. Now, wherever you go, there you are. If you're the problem, but I'm not talking about me being the problem in the United States. I'm talking about white people feeling like they have the right to police me. Let me tell you what happened the other day. I went out here for a walk the other day, just yesterday. And I saw this white lady walking the cutest dog, my parents' neighbor. She's, probably 3/4 of a mile away from their house. She don't know them. She don't know me. But she was walking the most beautiful dog. I think they're called Bernese Mountain Dogs. Most beautiful dog, big old dog. And I was like, "Oh, your dog is so beautiful." I said, and the dog was looking at me like, don't you want me? Don't you want to pet me? Don't you want to pet me? And I said, is she friendly? She said, yeah, she's very friendly. She's too friendly. So I said, is it okay if I pet her? She said, yes, of course. So I go to pet the dog, and the dog got so excited that she kind of lunged/ran, and the white lady holding the dog's leash got pulled, and now the dog is on the ground. I mean, the lady is on the ground. The white lady is on the ground. And I'm like, there is a timeline where I would need to get the F out of this situation, right? There is a time in history, in the past, and also in the future in the United States when I would need to take off running, right? Because nobody can know that I'm the reason, not really the reason that white lady ended up on the ground, but like I was there, right? There was a time not too long ago, right? Just maybe 2 generations ago, but also a time in the future. There's a time in the future where I would have had to take off running. Right? She done twisted her knee, right? I think we run from danger. And I think it makes sense to also, while you're running from danger, run to something good. All right. You say there's a troll. Tell me, let's see. Uh I'm scrolling, but I don't see who it is. Okay, you just hit the 3 dots by their name and block them personally until I find them myself. Okay? Just block them yourself until I find them. All right. Yeah, right. First thing I thought was in a few years. And then I was like, well, also in the past, like a generation or two ago, I also would have needed to get out of Dodge. But like in a few years, this is the kind of situation that would end me up back in a labor camp somewhere, right? Working the field somewhere with my knees that don't bend. Girl, this is a word. Venice Style says there's no animal more dangerous than a white woman crying. That's a word. That's a word, right? And then I'm like, oh, shit. Now I got to stand here. Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Now I'm holding the dog. Now I'm holding the leash, and the dog was a perfect little angel, right? When the lady's holding the leash, the dog was buck wild. I'm holding the leash, and the dog was just like, what's going on? She's her knee, I'm like, ugh. In a couple years, that would have ended me up in a work camp, working somebody's fields. Right? Okay. So who cannot afford to sit this out? Let's add in you don't want to be working the fields. Where's my pen at? I lost my pen. Fourth category of people who cannot afford to sit this out. People who don't want to return to work in the fields. You child said her dog didn't like her either. Girl, that was the most. Are they Bernese Mountain Dogs? BER. Yeah, Bernese Mountain Dogs. She was so cute. She had a very puppy look, but she was very big, right? A big old puppy looking dog. So as Curry says, they're not a troll, they're a real person. That's just what a troll would say. A troll is a real person. I think very unfortunate conversation for Black people. Okay, well, you're welcome to leave. You're more than welcome to leave. How about that? You're more than welcome to leave. All right, so who can afford to sit out? And this is supposed to be who cannot afford to sit out. Or maybe, I don't remember. How did we do in this conversation? And are you a person who feels like troll and a bot are two different things. Are you a person who feels like you can afford to sit it out? Let's answer that. You can afford to sit it out and let us know why. I wish the healthcare situation in the United States hadn't had any hint of improving. But it's not just the greed. It's the racism and the greed and the lack of humanity, which is different from the racism, because everybody suffers from the lack of humanity. It sucks. And as soon as you get healthcare somewhere else, especially as a fat woman, right? As soon as you get healthcare somewhere else, you're like, oh man, it feels so good to take that, to not have to have that chip, not have to walk in with a chip on my shoulder, knowing I'm going to have to advocate for myself in such a strong way and just be a patient having a conference with a doctor. Right? Thank you very much, Makeda. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Finally made alive. Hello, Yadia. I have a thing. So I send a text alert. Let me see if I can get that in a reasonable amount of time. If you want a text alert before I go live, I send text notifications out. I know that the YouTube notifications aren't always helpful. And so I'll send a text alert most of the time before I go live. That way you don't have to try to remember that it's 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you text YouTube to 888-403-4465, you'll get a text alert. Okay. So healthcare outside of the United States is about care. It's not about making profit for shareholders. And so it means healthcare operates differently. It means that doctors have time to sit and talk with you. It means your doctor will communicate with you via WhatsApp. So I had 3 root canals and crowns in Costa Rica. 2 of them are wonderful. One of them, I'm like, which tooth is it? Because I can't even feel the difference between the crown and the other teeth. They did such a good job. The other one, I can feel it. It's a little flatter than the rest of my teeth. This one, great. This one, very, very good. This tooth is just messed up. Everything they do no matter what I get done to it, is messed up, right? Get a filling in it, the filling comes out. Get the root canal and crown, the tooth breaks off. Get the Maryland bridge, the bridge gets real shaky. I just have a problem right here. I have a problem section. But so I've communicated with dentists quite a bit in Latin America. They WhatsApp you, they follow up. When you make the appointment, they're like, okay, what's the situation? Have you ever had a dentist? Have you ever made a dentist appointment and had the dentist communicate with you before you go in? What's happening? Do you want to take a picture of it and send it to me now, or do you want to wait until you get here? Like, right? I've never had that, right? In all my years of health insurance and dental visits, I never had a dentist just be like, what's going on? Before you get there. Oh, okay. Well, I'll see you when you get here. It's really humane. It's really kind because dental emergencies, like you're in pain. There's something snapping off or what, you're in pain. And it's real nice to have somebody just, and like the actual dentist communicate with you. Yeah. Hi, Stephanie. So everything, so a thing about Latin America is, or the rest of the world, pretty much everything is on WhatsApp. So you go to WhatsApp to make the appointment. I went to a group for women in my community. I went to a Facebook group for, no, I didn't. That was for the no, that was for the dermatologist. For the dentist, I just Googled dentist. You get their WhatsApp number. They tell you that you get their WhatsApp number and you WhatsApp them and they have the little automated message. Hi, tell us your name. Tell us what you're contacting us about. Something else. That automated message always asks you for the same things. And you tell them that, and then the actual dentist communicates with you. And I put like, I think I need a root canal, right? I think I need two root canals. And she was like, well, why do you think that? And how long has it, whatever, how long have you had the thing? And when did the filling fall out? And whatever. Before you get there. And then you get there and they sit down and they take their time, communicate with you like a human person and not a thing on a conveyor belt, right? And then after you leave, they message you and check up. The dentist in Costa Rica did it personally. My dentist in Bogota, the assistant, is the one who checks up on me. Now, the dermatologist who did my Botox, the dermatologist is the one who sends the checkup messages. But with the dentist in Bogota, it's the dentist assistant who checks up with me after the fact. But like real communication, like real time, no rushing, that's a matter of healthcare being about care instead of about profits. They don't have to squeeze in 14 patients an hour, 14 patients before lunch. They can take their time. It's also about them believing that they can prevent. It's also them prioritizing preventing more problems instead of just what can I bill you for? So it's really nice. It's really nice to get healthcare abroad. And it's one of the things, once you do it, I think you're more likely to move abroad. I think once you get healthcare out of the United States, you've increased the likelihood that you're going to feel comfortable moving out of the United States. Once you see for yourself, because American exceptionalism, the concept, right, not the truth of it, but the idea of American exceptionalism is real. We're always taught that America is better at these things. And so it's natural to be nervous about getting healthcare abroad. But once you do, and you see this is an intelligent doctor who actually has a desire to make sure that I'm better, right? Who actually is in it for the care and is not operating within a system that has them so hamstrung that they can't make any decisions or do anything because a greedy insurance company is going to block them on every side, right? Once you have that, the opposite experience, the good experience in healthcare, the idea of American exceptionalism is out the window. And then the world is yours. Where in the world? Now it's just a matter of where in the world do I want to go? What fits my needs? What fits my budget? Right? I think healthcare is the like, once that breaks down, once your idea that you're going to be in another country with terrible healthcare strapped to some gurney in the rain, right? With a leaky roof and a doctor you can't communicate with. Once you no longer have that fear and you see the realities of healthcare abroad, I think you're more likely to move abroad. I'm not saying that everyone who gets healthcare abroad leaves the country and moves abroad, but I'm saying you've broken down that big barrier of, but America is the best place. Once you see it's not the best place, The world is yours. Pick where you're going. Speaking of pick where you're going, inside of the Exodus ASAP membership, December 1st through 18th, Rashida and I are hosting the Peace Out Protocol Challenge. You know I love a challenge. Okay, the Peace Out Protocol Challenge is happening inside of the Exodus ASAP membership. So we have created in coaching women, Black women and their families to move abroad, we've created an 8-step Peace Out protocol. It's 8 things that you need to navigate. I'm doing this. Okay, but that's not 8. 8 things you need to do, 8 questions you need to answer in order to move abroad. If you want to work on those 8 parts of the Peace Out protocol at one time, December 1st through 18th, inside of the Exodus ASAP membership, go ahead and join us, exodusasap.com. This is not a challenge. I know that we do other challenges, and those challenges have coaching calls every day. Don't worry, it's December, okay? We don't want to be in coaching calls every day, just like you don't, okay? But we will give you a protocol to follow, and we'll get together on Thursdays to check on your progress, give you feedback, answer your questions. So coaching is on Thursdays with Rashida and with me, but the challenge is December 1st through 18th. We're going to get 100 or more Black women through their Peace Out protocol. We're going to get 100 or more Black women with a solid plan started. This is going to be our jump start. If you already have your plan started, but you're stalled because you have some questions that aren't getting answered, or you don't know what to do next, you're also welcome to join us. ExodusASAP.com. Okay. We'll have at least 100 women going through. Yes, me and Rashida and me. No, this does not include one-on-one coaching. We don't do one-on-one coaching inside of Exodus ASAP. But we do group coaching where you show up and you ask your questions, right? Frankly, a month in Exodus ASAP costs less than an hour of coaching with Rashida, right? And you can't get one-on-one coaching with me. I don't do that. I don't do it. Group coaching is the best, and I don't do individual coaching anymore. 1 month in Exodus ASAP is less than an hour with Rashida. It's less than, if she did half an hour, it's less than half an hour with Rashida, right? You get a whole month. You get more than the individual session. You get all of the Peace Out protocol, and you get the challenge. You get accountability groups. I think the accountability groups it's hard to put a price tag on what they do for the women in the Exodus ASAP membership. It's hard to put a price tag on what it's worth to meet women who are working on the same thing you're working on, and to talk about the same struggles or successes or findings or questions, make progress, speed up progress. It's hard to put a price tag on what those do, on what it's worth to know some other women who are moving abroad, right? Even if they're going to a different country, there are 100 women in the community today. So there's going to be more than that. We don't have 100 women coming to coaching. You know how it is, okay? We don't have 100 women coming to coaching, but there are dozens of women in a coaching call. But not all, you know how it is. Well, I don't know. Not everyone does group coaching. Everybody doesn't talk. Everybody doesn't have questions. I'm a notorious non-question asker when I'm in group coaching. It's exponentially more helpful to be in a group coaching setting, though, than an individual setting, because you have other people's questions and information. Individual coaching with me, you can hear what I know. Group coaching, somebody has Black women, somebody knows everything. Somebody has the information that you're looking for, or somebody's questions. I think other people's questions in group coaching often are just as helpful as other people's answers, right? Other people's questions in group coaching really spark things. Sometimes it's not strong enough. Often, our solution is an individual solution, right? but it is spurred on by hearing of the way other people came to their solution. Right? So we just interviewed Rebecca on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel, and she went from $2,600 a month in daycare expenses to $400 a month in daycare expenses by moving to Panama. Right? Panama is not the answer for other people here, but that approach of where can I live my whole life just on this one expense, that's an approach that's going to help a lot of other people. It's going to help somebody else. So being in community with people, you can't, I don't know how to put a dollar figure on it, right? It's worth so much more than you're paying. I've paid for expensive coaching, right? I've paid for expensive coaching. I've bought brand new cars worth of coaching. And the coaching is often helpful. I'm good at picking coaches that I want to work with, but the community is what makes it worth its weight in what makes it worth 2 times, 5 times, 10 times what I paid. And I don't mean the community as in friendship, right? I mean people who are walking alongside you. I mean people that you can collaborate with. In my world, it's people I can collaborate with. If you're in Exodus ASAP and you find someone who, maybe you're bopping around and you find a couple of women who in a few different countries that you land, they're there. That's incredibly valuable. It's incredibly valuable to land in a strange country with a language you don't understand and know some people there, right? But also in ASAP, you don't have to wait for the community to pay off because they're just amazing women. Black women are the best people. So the community pays off in every accountability call, every coaching call. Exodus ASAP is where you go to join this community. It's a monthly membership. Okay. It's $247 per month. It's a monthly membership. And this is not priced like Netflix or something else where you pay for it. You see it come out of your account and you're like, oh, I ain't doing anything this month. Oh, well, it's okay. This is paid for. This is priced like I'm coming to get some progress. I'm coming to get my peace out protocol together. Even if I don't stay long enough to finish it, I can finish it on my own, but I'm coming so that this challenge can help me jumpstart 8 parts of my peace out protocol. I'll make the rest of my progress on my own. It's priced like that. It's priced like I'm serious. Okay. This is I'm serious pricing. You're welcome to come. If you're a Black woman. Black women, you're welcome to come. Okay, did I miss anything? Hi, Jamila, I think. Jamila Ula. Hi. How are overweight Black or brown women treated in other countries? I've not had any, so I've only been to, I don't know, 4 doctors, 5 doctors in Latin America, but nobody's told me to lose weight yet, right? And I had the house call, 5 or 6 visits, and nobody's told me to lose weight yet, which is always I'm like, well, this ain't got nothing to do with that. What? Leave me alone. You can see I'm healthy. You see my blood pressure. You can see. Did you take my blood sugar? I'm here about something else. I think that's a question to ask women inside of communities who live in those cities and go regularly for appointments, right? If this is a serious concern, if you're a person with a serious concern like me, where every time I go to the doctor, they treat me like I'm not worthy of good health care because I'm fat or whatever, then I would get in community with people in the places you're considering going to and ask them, do you feel like that in this new place? Yeah, this is Diamond Empress. I leave Monday for the airport. All right, Southeast Asia, here she comes. Enjoy it. I hope you love it. And I hope you take a second, if you want, take a second in Southeast Asia to get you some medical appointments, whether it's going to one of the hospitals and getting that executive checkup that they do, where they just test everything, check everything, right? I hope you take some time to get some good medical care. I hope you do. All right. All right. Any other questions? Anything else that we need to talk about? I can't go back too far in the chat. So if you have something, go ahead and type it again. StreamYard doesn't let me go back too far. Get out US edition. Offices won't even let you make an appointment as a new patient until the insurance has been confirmed. Yeah. And then the insurance company is really your doctor. In the United States, the insurance, there's a person at a desk who has more say over your health care than your doctor. Even if your doctor was not anti-Black and anti-fat and whatever, and was in it for the care and saw you as a human person, even if all of these things were true and you had a great doctor, they're not in charge of your care. Because the health insurance company can be like, oh, that's cute. No to this, no to this, right? In Colombia, the way it works, Colombia has like a 98% insured rate because insurance is kind of prorated. And the people who can afford to pay for their insurance. The people who cannot afford to pay don't pay for their insurance. In other places, what I've seen is there is a basic standard healthcare level. And then most people who can afford it pay to get private care, right? There's a public health care. There are different ways to do universal health care. Colombia is considered a country with universal health care because it's a 98% insured country. Now, I think 98% of people in Colombia have some sort of insurance, right? Whether they are paying for it or not. But there are other countries who are like, this is free. It's like when I was in the Army. They're like, this is what you can get for free. If you need not a better, but a higher standard of care than that, you pay for it. You pay for private insurance. Or you pay out of pocket. There are plenty of people who live abroad who don't have insurance in the country they live in. In Colombia, you can't. In Colombia, they're like, you cannot apply for residency until you show us your insurance information. But so that's that. But there are plenty of places where people just pay out of pocket. When I was house sitting in Lake Chapala, Mexico, I was house sitting for a gang of old ladies. Well, not old ladies. They were in their 70s. And they were not old ladies. They were very active seniors. And they were like, Stephanie, you need to go to this doctor or to this hospital. This is the hospital we go to get our well women's exam. And it was like a gynecological exam plus a breast mammogram. I feel like it was 3 things. And I was like, how much is it? And she was like, $110. Can you imagine a GYN visit, an exam, and a mammogram for $110 with no insurance? This is me, a tourist with no insurance in Mexico. Right? Now this was 2018, I believe. Might have been 2019. All right. Oh, career transitions. My son recently had surgery and the insurance company paid 23 cents. I had to pay the balance. Insurance companies are in charge of your care in a way that is unnecessary and in a way that's not done around the world. Yeah. Kat is Rebloom Room, and she says, my doctor in DC went concierge because she was exhausted dealing with insurance paperwork instead of caring for her patients. The system is rotten, right? The best doctors, the most caring doctors are still answering to insurance companies. And so there are places that don't do it that way, right? There are places that just don't operate that way. Do I know anything about safety wing insurance? Yes, it's a popular insurance for people who are traveling around the world, for nomads. It's a popular insurance for people who are bopping around. This is Christine R. I've never heard anyone be like, I paid for safety wing and it was useless and I needed them and they didn't, whatever, right? I've not heard any complaints in the nomad world. I was a nomad for almost 10 years, for 9 years and 3/4. And safety wing is a valid insurance provider, especially if you're going to be bopping from place to place. If you know you're staying in one country, if you're moving to one place, you may want to find a provider in that country. But safety wing, yeah. So the thing with nomad insurance is that you need to make sure you know if you're getting a primary policy, like the kind of policy that will pay up front, or do you need to pay up front and then get reimbursed? I'm not afraid of they'll reimburse me policy outside of the US. I've not heard anyone have horror stories. It's just that you need to have a way to pay immediately, even if it's a credit card, right? There are hospitals who are like, no, we won't treat you until you pay us cash up front. And in part, in the rest of the world, that's not uncommon for them to be like, oh no, nothing for you until you pay us up front. If you don't want that, then you'll need to make sure you have the policy that pays up front. Hi, the official Astrid online. What kind of recommendation did you get about laser hair removal based on your skin tone? How does the pricing differ? The cool laser, it's not a laser. So the problem is I don't know the difference between she explained, my dermatologist speaks English. So we communicate in English. But I think she's telling me the cool thing is not a laser, even though they call it laser hair removal. The cool thing is something else. So she told me that the laser, she doesn't have the laser that zaps hair on people who have hair and skin my color. She does not have it. But she told me to try the laser for a few treatments. I already feel like it's not going to work, so I didn't bother. But the cool laser is not a laser. Who here knows that? Who here knows that? The cool laser thing is not the actual laser. I need the little thing that goes in each single hair strand. And she does not have the one that will do me and my skin color without burning me all up. Nobody knows. Well, anyway, so I didn't get a price because she doesn't have it. She did throw in the cool thing for me one time for free, and she told me that if it was going to work, I needed to do like 3 or 4 appointments, and I wasn't paying for it because I don't think it's going to work. I had laser hair removal in the Army with a little zapper that zapped each follicle. When I was in the Army, they were testing out the laser for dark skin and dark pigmented hair, and I was a test dummy. I let them test that thing on me. And I did 3 sessions, I believe. I know I did 2. I think I got 3 sessions in before I left from the Army, and it thinned out the hair, but it never got rid of it. Electrolysis versus laser, I frankly don't know the difference. Thank you, friends. I don't know the difference. I don't know which is which. I think whichever one is the plate that they put on you, it's not going to work for me. And she doesn't have the that's going to work for me. So I don't know a price. And then even when she did do the plate, the cool thing, she didn't charge me for it. How do you get through, hi Sparkles, how do you get through language barriers when accessing health globally? You can find someone who speaks English. If you are in a city with English speakers, or if you're in a city with, that sounded dumb. I don't mean if you're in a city with English speakers. I mean, if you're in a city that has people from other parts of the world, which most major cities have. Most major cities have people from all over the world, right? Then you can find providers who speak English, and you just get in a Facebook group. Seriously, you get in a Facebook group for expats or immigrants in that city, and they give doctor recommendations. Seriously, word of mouth. Oh, you can also Google it. That's what I did. When I was in Mexico, I had the COVID once in Mexico, and I was supposed to be flying to Curacao, and I needed to keep getting tested until I was negative. And I just Googled, right? Something about doctor who speaks English near me. And then sent on WhatsApp, hi, do you do COVID tests? And do you speak English? And whatever, whatever. Because so much is done through WhatsApp, I felt fine with this newest dentist, even though we don't speak in English. She speaks Spanish to me, and I reply in Spanglish. This lady who did my Maryland bridge, I don't speak enough Spanish to really be a good, helpful patient, right? Because I always forget the word for open bigger. She doesn't say abierto, right? We all know abierto from Sesame Street. Abierto, cerrado. We all know open and close, but she says bigger sometimes, and I always forget that's what she's saying. And so she'll just pull my mouth open. But I would say mostly it's finding a provider who speaks English. It's probably going to cost a little bit more than a provider who doesn't speak English, just like on your job, right? You get paid a premium if you're handling things in multiple languages. So how do you find somebody how do you access healthcare? You can find a provider who speaks English. You could take a translator with you. There are people who operate as like medical translators. You could do that if you wanted to, if you just were sure that you wanted this particular doctor. It was probably not the smartest for me to go to this dentist knowing she don't speak English and I don't speak enough Spanish to know what she's talking about. But I did it. Okay. One thing she made a point to WhatsApp to translate for me when she extracted my tooth for very little money, right? She extracted the tooth. She typed out, don't drink with a straw, and something, so that the extraction site could heal, so that she could take the mold so that she could put in the bridge. And she took her time to type that out on the phone. Three sets of instructions. The rest of the time, she'd just be talking to me in Spanish, and I'd be like, see. Right? Except when she WhatsApped me, she told me that there were 3 things I could do. She told me I could get a dental implant once she because the root canal, the crown, not the root canal, the crown broke off. I had already had a root canal and crown, and the crown just broke off. And that's a different dentist I went to. It's just a bad site. There's no bone like up in here, and it's just a bad spot. It's not, I don't think it's the dentist's fault. Even though I didn't research the dentist, I don't think it's the dentist's fault. So the thing I got done in Costa Rica fell out. So then I made my appointment with her. She came in, I came in, talked to her, whatever. And then she told me in her chair, she was like, there are 3 things that we could do. We could do a dental implant, we can do a Maryland bridge, and we could do something else. And then she sent me all that information on WhatsApp. And when I was deciding, because I took about a week or more to decide which one I wanted after she pulled the tooth out. More than that, a couple weeks to decide what I wanted. She would WhatsApp me, and I would just use WhatsApp translator to figure out what she was saying. That's how I understood that she wanted to do a bone graft. And I was like, I don't think I need a bone graft for a tooth nobody's going to see. But then I feel like maybe I should have, because even the Maryland bridge is annoying me. I don't know I feel like you can hear it. I can hear it. It just rattles around in my mouth. It's a bad spot. It's one bad spot. How do have I answered this question, Sparkles? I've answered it several times. I think those are the answers. This is not a question, I think, for me. Sylvia is asking for everyone in the chat, but I'm going to answer it as though she's talking to me. Sylvia is saying, anyone interested in Barbados or Belize? Yes. Those are 2 of the more popular places for Black women in the migration world. In the world of moving abroad, Barbados and Belize are up there on the list. So yes, there are people interested. If you're in the Exodus Summit community, right? I'm not talking about the ASAP membership. I'm talking about the community that just costs $1. If you're in that community, you can get in there's separate channels on the side. You can get in a channel for those spaces, and you can meet other women who are interested in those spaces. There it is. If you join us at exodussummit.com/community, you can meet other women who are interested in those places. Minnie, I'm making sure I don't use the old name. Minnie is in Belize. She moved to Belize from the West Coast. What can you share? Hi, Milo, what can you share about Lisbon, Portugal, please? Lisbon, Portugal, it's the love of my life. It's more expensive than it used to be, but it's still not as expensive as what most of us are used to if you live in a major expensive city in the United States. 300 days of sunshine in Lisbon, and they have a clear pathway to residency. Now, Lisbon's D7 visa requires, while you're on that visa, that you stay in Portugal for a lot of the year. So if you want to bop around and see the world and do a whole months and months of travel every year, that's probably not a good choice. But it's good. It's otherwise, I love the place. There's a lot of people from all over the world are moving to Lisbon. Prices are, of course, getting higher. But you can be outside of Lisbon and be very well connected. The public transportation in Portugal is very good. So you can be connected even if you don't live in the city, and you can be on a beach. I recommend it. Sylvia's checking out Barbados spring of 2027. Yeah, Barbados of the Caribbean islands, Curacao, Barbados, Jamaica are three of the more popular, and they're also three of the places in the Caribbean that are not crazy expensive, like some of the Caribbean can be. I think there's a Barbados community called Black Pats that's still operating on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and you look up Barbados Black Pats or something like that, Black Expat, you can look up Barbados Black Expats, Jamila's community. I think they're still on Facebook. If not, it'll probably tell you where they are. A lot of communities are moving, some communities are moving off of Facebook, but usually if you go to Facebook, you can find where they've moved to. So yeah, CL Profit bone graft was not that bad. It was she was going to charge me $3,000 for the bone graft and the implant. And now that this thing is rattling around in my mouth, I'm like, I probably should have done that. I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have gone that route. Now I've thrown $1,500 on top of the crown that fell out. I paid $1,500 for the Maryland bridge, for the extraction plus the bridge. I don't know. I don't know. The Art of Today says, I'm becoming fluent in Spanish, prepping for Costa Rica next year. Very good. When we move to a country, we want to speak the language that the people speak in that country. I just want to take some pressure off. Fluent is hard, okay? You want to be able to have conversations. You want to be able to understand. Fluent, free yourself from having to be fluent in the language to be able to conduct business in the language and make friends in the language. Advice for introverts, let an extrovert adopt you, right? Just be there. Extroverts, they can't help themselves. They reach out. You don't have to do a whole lot. Just be there. Take a tour, right? Go on a group tour. Get in the community. If there's an expat community or visitors, some places even have Facebook groups for people who are just visiting. Get in the Exodus Summit community. Get in the Rick and Halisi's community. Our Black Utopia. Just tell people you're there and let an extrovert adopt you, right? You don't have to be anybody you're not. You be you, let them be them. They'll take over. That's all you have to do. Yeah, so Siesta in the Sun says implants are great when they take, but there's no guarantee that the bone graft will take. It may fail. I don't know. If y'all see me missing this tooth and I just decided to give up, it is what it is. It is what it is. If you see this Maryland bridge come flying out one day while I'm talking, and after that, it's just a space. It's just a space. It's gonna be that because I feel like it's just a bad spot. It's just a bad spot. Nothing is working, right? These others, No problems, right? I forget that their crowns, this one feels exactly like the teeth beside it. This one feels a little less, it's a little flat. But the others, no problems. I can floss them without anything. This one, as soon as they did the crown, when I would floss it, it would be kind of weird. Not really pain, but just weird. I hate it. Is my mom making a turkey? Will you be making anything? We had Thanksgiving here at my parents' house. We had Thanksgiving last week. I made the mashed sweet potatoes. We're going to my cousin's house for Thanksgiving tomorrow, and he made sweet potato pie. My dad made sweet potato pies, and my mom is making pineapple upside down cake right now. Like as we speak, she's in the kitchen, and I'm taking nothing. Nada. All right. Do I have future plans to one day move to Portugal? No, but anything is possible. No, I think that right now, their requirement that you be there for, I think it's 9 or 10 months out of the year, is a little strong for me. Um, but later, maybe once I do less moving around. Yeah. I don't have any plans to live there, but I would like to visit there again and again and again and again. Jenny Poo? YAG laser is the one for dark skin. I've gotten laser treatment several times over the years. Did the hair go away? Like go away? I'm trying to figure out your screen name. First, I thought it was Ms. Sally and talking, but that's not it. And then I'm like, Ms. Ms. Allen talking. Okay. Reading screen names real time on a live stream is the hardest thing I do. It's really hard. Okay. I use Google Translate to get through my surgery in Japan. They also helped with an iPad. Oh, that's nice. So y'all could text, so y'all could message. Okay. There were medical translators that work with most of the hospitals and go with you. Yes, medical translator is a thing. Getting a medical translator is a thing. And if you're in a community of people who live in that town who are expats or immigrants, they probably know one, right? So it's a thing. If you're concerned about conducting or doing healthcare stuff in another language, I would say it's workoutable. That's a thing you can work out. Find somebody who speaks English or get a medical translator. It's a thing that people work out. Vicky Lockley, hi. Can anyone give advice or guidance about traveling abroad with a special needs adult? Are we talking bopping around from place to place, or are we talking about moving anywhere in particular? There are a few women in our community who do it. If you're in the Exodus Summit community, exodussummit.com/community, join us and ask that question inside of there. One of the women who came to my birthday party was traveling with her son who has special needs. And so Rashida and I just recorded a video talking about it that will be up maybe this weekend on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel. And so when he would walk, we went to a restaurant, I went to eat with them 2 or 3 different times. We ate at a restaurant a couple of times. He's a tall man, right? Or not super tall, but a man. And when he would walk around the restaurant, if we were sitting at the table and he decided that he wanted to get up and walk around the restaurant and see what's happening, right? He was a very nosy, autistic kid. Man, he's a man. None of the people in the restaurant reacted in any way, right? People are just minding their business, living their lives. He's walking around looking at stuff in the restaurant, and we're talking at the table, and no one is freaking out in the restaurant in Colombia. This is in Bogota. I noticed that. Because I'm like, I think if we were in the United States, she would be like, no, you have to sit. You have to sit. You can't just wander around this restaurant. I assume. But in Bogota, he was free to live his life, explore. Then we went to the big old park. They have a huge park in the middle of the city. We go to the big old park. The women are walking together. He's walking ahead. And at one point, he got so far ahead that I couldn't see him anymore. I was nervous because in the United States, anything could happen to that man. People would, who knows what people would do? She's like, Stephanie, he's fine, right? He's fine. There is a different, the only word I can think of is there is an amount of humanity that other people extend to other people around the world that American people do not extend to people. And so that was that was my experience of their experience. Maybe one day soon I can get them on the channel. The problem is I don't know where in the world they are because they just keep bopping. I know they left Bogota and went to another part of, I think they went to Medellin first and then Ecuador. Living their lives, right? Having a grand old time, seeing the world. So I don't have an answer except for what I saw with my own two eyes. And I asked how do people treat him? They treat him good, right? They treat him good. No problems. We have no problems in Colombia. Okay. So I would, if you're in the Exodus Summit community, Vicky, ask that question again. If you didn't get any good answers here in the chat, ask that question again, and then communicate with the women about their experiences. But that's what I saw. He was living his life. We went to one restaurant that was a tea house, and they had little cute decor, little teacup lamps and stuff. And he was just walking around looking. Plenty of other customers in the restaurant, and nobody said anything. Nobody, not like just ignore him, but just like he's entitled to walk around and look at the decor, right? He's entitled to walk around and see what's happening here at the park. He is entitled to walk around and run when he felt like running and come back. And he's entitled to enjoy himself at this park. There's a different amount of humanity that people extend to people, except in the United States, right? Live your life. But that's a good question to ask in our community, because I know there are several women who are traveling with an autistic in particular, either adult child or family member. Yes. Okay. I'm trying, because the problem with me is I will just say people's names on the internet. You don't know how hard of a fight it was to not say their names just now. But there are women. Holler in the Exodus Summit community. Y'all communicate. Let them give you some maybe guidance or reassurance. Yeah, a lot of Diamond says they say Thai people are very considerate and caring. It's the world. I love Latin America because also people in Latin America are very considerate and caring and compassionate, but also minding their business. But also like, let him live. Let him live. Let him rip and run up and down in this park. Right? Let him walk around the restaurant and see what's happening. America is the problem. America is the problem. This is why when women are like, I'm going to wait until my kids are grown, or wait until whatever before I leave. I'm like, you're just missing out. And they're missing out on what it could be. Autism is not the only special need. So the biggest, I think, mobility issues are a problem to, or an issue to get really good sound advice on, because some of these cities are beautiful, but from if you are in a if you use some sort of mobility aid, some sort of device, it can be really hard. And so you need to get advice from somebody who's there, who has that experience. A Disabled Diva Travels on Instagram. Eve, Eve Clark is Disabled Diva Travels on Instagram. And she talks a lot about being in different cities in the world using, I think she still uses a mobility scooter often. She walks on a cane, right? And what places work and don't work. If you're in the Exodus ASAP membership, or if you're interested in joining, these are things that you'll be able to work through this in December in our Peace Out Protocol Challenge. The Peace Out Protocol is, where am I going? What does it cost? Where's the money coming from? What do I do about my people and pets? Who do I need to make special plans for? What about my home and all my stuff? How do I need residency, and how do I get it? What is my healthcare plan? And what do I do about this fear? How do I actually take action? Those are the 8 questions that you answer in the Peace Out Protocol. And we're hosting a challenge in Exodus ASAP in our membership, December 1st through 18th, where you're going to make progress on each one of those steps in the Peace Out Protocol. Some of you will be able to close out some of these steps. There are some steps you'll be like, done. This whole step figured out, done. But some steps are, I just need to I need to take the first step in this. I need some momentum. If you want to join us in the Exodus ASAP membership, make progress on the Peace Out Protocol by joining the challenge and coming to coaching with us, with Rashida and me. Go ahead and join us at exodusasap.com. December 1st is right around the corner. I believe it's Monday. I don't know what's happening, okay? I don't know what's happening with time or dates. But exodusasap.com is where you join us. You can join for just 1 month. It's a recurring monthly membership, so you have to cancel, just like Netflix or whatever. You join, you have to cancel when you're ready to cancel. If you join for 1 month, it's going to renew in 1 month. But we also have a 3-month and a 6-month bundle. 3-month bundle, 6-month bundle, or 1 month. But they're all renewed automatically unless you cancel. Very easy to cancel. Click on your profile picture, click cancel. It's very easy to cancel. Or you can email us if you can't figure it out. But we very easy. But you join us, exodusasap.com. Okay. If you have some of these questions and you want to take some time and work out, what is my plan going to be? I have another person who I have to plan for. What am I going to do for them? What is my plan for them? Join us in the challenge so that you can make some progress on that thing, instead of letting it just become a hurdle when it doesn't have to be a hurdle, or a barrier when it doesn't have to be a barrier. It can just be another question that you get answered, or that you find the solution to. Okay. So same, I saw somewhere earlier, I saw pets. Same. There are people who bop around the world with pets. There are people who move abroad with their pets. There are people who rehome their pets before they go, right? These are just questions that you need to have answered based on what's going to work out for you. And so join us in the Exodus ASAP membership if you're a Black woman, so that you can make your plan for you. There's no single answer, but there are answers. How easy is it to travel abroad with multiple pets? I would not say easy. The country that you're traveling to gets a say in what the process is, and the airline that you're on gets a say. And sometimes there's a third party who gets a say. And so it's not easy. Kioka, who is Awkward Black Nomad, travels with her 2 little dogs, Frank and Bernie. They're carry-on size. I would say if you have carry-on size animals, it's an easier life than a the checked bag size animal. There are countries that make you quarantine your pet for significant amounts of time, like they're just sitting in a warehouse somewhere waiting it out, it can be a very stressful thing. When I was planning to travel full time, I arranged for two different households to take my dog. Right? I knew I was going to rehome star, and I picked two different people to do it, just in case one of them at the end was like, I can't do it. Right? Now, she happened to die. My dog died right before. No, it wasn't right before. My dog died 6 months before I left. I left on September 21st, and she died on March 21st. So she died. So I didn't have to actually do it, but that was my plan. I had two different households who said yes, we will take her. Because it's not easy. It's not an easy thing. I love being Black and gay. We are moving to Mexico. We have two fur babies, so we're going to hire a driver to take us from Laredo to Guadalajara. I will not put them under a plane. Yeah, there are people who are solving this problem in a variety of different ways. Yes, to that. Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's not easy it's not easy because you need with pets, because it's just another thing that you need to solve. But it's not like the most complicated thing in the world. Right? So if you have pets, especially if you have pets that are big, you'll have to decide on, does that mean that you're contracting the area that you're covering, right? Does that mean you can only go to a place you could drive to, or someone can drive you to? Or does it mean something else? Something else. This must be a different Angela. Kemi says Angela hired a driver for a pet and they lost her dog. I know Angela and Lamar and Angela is a YouTube channel. I mean, they're people, they are friends, but Lamar and Angela, they have a YouTube channel and they drove their dogs down and it was no problem. Driving in Mexico there's a point where it's just scary, where you need to just get moving. There's a point when you're driving from the US into Mexico where it's just not, it can be very scary. You must be talking about a different Angela, Kemi. Hi. All right. So how did we do? How much is 1 month? 1 month in Exodus ASAP is $247. Now this is November of 2025. If you're watching this in the future, then prices are no longer valid. But November of 2025, 1 month is $247. So come in, make a plan. Come in and get some progress. This is not priced just for you to be lollygagging. This is not looking, I'm just looking and seeing. This is, I need to get a plan together, right? Whether you're at the beginning stage or later in the stage. So the way I approach coaching is I want you to set me on my course. I may or may not stick around for updated, I'm not coming to coaching for months and months. Jumpstart me, please. I like a good jumpstart coaching. And then so with some stuff, I also do here's what I did. Can you give me some feedback? In this world, it would probably be like, I got my protocol together. Thanks for helping me jumpstart. Now I got I left for a while, got my protocol together. Now, can you give me some feedback on this thing? I'm not a 12-month, even though I've joined 12-month coaching programs, I tend to only do things the beginning and the end. I know that about me. So if I saw something priced the way that Exodus ASAP was priced, I'd probably start with a month or 3 and then end with a month or 3. But there are plenty of women in our community who have a 6-month membership because they know that they want to keep going and they want to make sure that they keep the momentum and they want to make the progress and they just want it all figured out. They don't want to stall like me and be looking up 2 years later like, oh, I haven't worked on this in 2 years. Okay. Yes, that's why it's not every month. So QT, the boss lady, it's not an every month thing. I don't think. I wouldn't be in Exodus ASAP every month. If I was planning on moving in 2027, right? I would come for a couple months, a month or 3, like I said, and then I would be out. You're not going to see me back in the membership. That's how I would do it. Now you do what you like. Okay? You do what you like. This is not set it and forget it pricing. Absolutely not. Okay? There are coaches out there who price their things that way. But we want the progress. We want you out of the country. We want to take the credit for it. Okay. And that doesn't happen with set it and forget it pricing. I don't think. Right? Because then you like me, you looking up like I haven't done anything on this thing in 2 years and it's still coming out of my account. This is, I'm here to make some progress priced. This is not, you're not going to be in Exodus ASAP forever. We're going to listen, make progress or leave. This is not that. Okay. I'm trying to think of a thing that I have. So I just my one of my debit cards just expired and I got picked up the new one while I was home. And I let some accounts, I didn't update my card on some accounts because I'm like, this is a perfect time to stop paying for this BS, right? How long have I been paying for this? And then I had to make the call on which things I want to keep and which things and then how long have I been paying for Beachbody? I don't think I knew I had a Beachbody membership. How long have I been paying for that? This was a good time to let some things go. Exodus ASAP is not priced like that, where you're not even going to notice and next thing you know, you're still paying for it. It's not that, okay? This is, I'm here to work. I'm here to come to the challenge. In December, we're doing the Peace Out Protocol Challenge. In January, we're doing the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. And in February, we're focusing on scouting trips. It's like a scouting trip month. So that's what's happening in Exodus ASAP for the next 3 months. If you get a 3-month membership, those are the things you can understand that we're going to work on. We're going to work on your money plan. We're going to work on the protocol, the full protocol. And we're going to focus on the money in January. Where's your money coming from? If you're doing some sort of coaching, consulting, freelancing, let's jumpstart that in January. And then February, we're going to talk scouting, whether you're doing an in-person scouting trip or a virtual scouting trip. Those are the focuses of the next 3 months. Okay. Yes. Okay. Get in and get out. We want you to leave the country. It doesn't benefit us for you to be in a membership for months and months and months and months and years and years and years and years and paying, right? Seriously, you could pay, it could be a $16 a month membership. You wouldn't notice that hardly. Most of you, we wouldn't really notice $16 a month. But then next thing you know, it's been $800. I don't know how much I've paid Beachbody. Apparently every quarter I've been paying them, I think it was $75 a quarter for years. I joined Beachbody. I know when I joined Beachbody, I didn't realize I was still paying Beachbody. That's not what we want. Okay. That's not what we want. I was going to calculate, but I don't even want to calculate it. I don't even want to calculate it. So I'm getting all these declined charges on on one of my debit cards. And I'm like, good, go away. Right. I don't need you. Right. Decline, decline, decline. Good. This is not what we want for the Exodus ASAP membership. Like sincerely, Rashida lives in Mexico City. I live in Bogota. Sincerely, we want you to leave the country. We want you to move abroad, right? And so this is not a $16 a month membership, right? It's not a $60 a month membership. This is $247. You can come in for a month and you can make good progress. Come in for a month, take the Peace Out Protocol Challenge, get progress on all 8 parts of the Peace Out Protocol. You're welcome to cancel that membership, right? Don't even let it renew. Make the progress. What we want is for you to leave. We sincerely believe your life will be better. Okay? This is not it doesn't matter if we have, like I said, we have 100 women in the community. We don't get 100 women at coaching calls. They're making progress though. When we look at their exit interviews, exit surveys, they're making progress. But we don't want you just to have a membership to pay for, right? We want you to make the progress. Please. We want the end result. We want to be able to go to wherever, go to Brazil, go to Barbados, go to Thailand, and see you just living a great life. And then we could take the credit, some of the credit, right? So that's that. Do you think, hi, the art of today, do you think anything coming up on investments to, wait, do you have anything coming up on investments to aid in the Exodus? In the Exodus Summit, the actual virtual summit that just happened in October, Adelia did a session on dividends, right? On how to invest and live off of the dividends from your investments. And then Terry Ijeoma did a session on trading, right? Trading. Hers was kind of like an intro to trading. I would say intro to trading and investing. I think that was it. As far as we don't have anything planned on investments for the future. Now, we have some sessions that happened previously. When you join Exodus ASAP, when you join the membership, you can watch previous ASAP sessions. So, I wonder if I can find this in a reasonable amount of time. Let's go to upcoming Art to Income with Courtney Bowden happens. That was Monday. That was last Monday. Let me go to previous, upcoming, past, and look at investing. This might take too long to find. Money. So Adelia's session was January of last year. Adelia did a special session for us, Investing 101. But in Exodus ASAP, that was last January. And so if you join Exodus ASAP, you can go back and watch the replay of that session. Okay. All right. Raven C, I have a scouting trip planned. Good. Can I join and pause my ASAP membership if the trip interrupts in the middle of the month? No, the cancellation of your membership or the pause of your membership happens after when it's about to rebill. So you can't pick which days you want to pause it. You know what I'm saying? You can't pick which days. It's just like if you join it on the 8th, right? Then the renewal date is the 8th. And that's when it'll either be paused or renewed or canceled. No, it's not paused. It's canceled or renewed. But you can't pick the day. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, Terry Ijeoma session. It was more about investing, and it was a more introductory session on investing. Vicky says, bopping sounds so nice. I get caught up thinking that I have to know exactly where I want to land, and that's overwhelming. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. You can move abroad without moving anywhere, right? You can move abroad just by leaving the country. I bopped around the world for 9 years, 9 3/4 years, right? I spent a couple of years off, back and forth in Mexico. I spent a couple of years in Costa Rica. I spent this full year in Bogota, back and forth. I've been all over, but it's really nice to go someplace and you let your US passport tell you how long you can stay there and just be there. And then try another place. The moving abroad, that it alleviates some stressors like knowing exactly where you're going to go. If you have 3, 4, 5 3, 4 suitcases, I'm gonna stick with 3 or 4. 3 or 4 suitcases, the world is yours. Just go. 3, 4 suitcases and your passport, and either some income or some money, income or cash money. Just go, just leave, try some places. You hear somebody's going to be such and such a place, go there, right? My friend Katrina's in Vietnam, and she's in northern Vietnam and up in the north of Vietnam. And Rhonda is flying into the south. And I'm like, oh, you should go visit Katrina, right? She could just hop on a plane and go because she's not tied to an apartment. She's not tied to a whatever. Let house sitting help you. If you want to bop around, we've talked about house sitting at all in quite a while. If you want to bop around, house sitting is a way that you can do that. I house sit through trusted house sitters, and you can be wherever, right? As long as your tourist visa lets you be there, you can just go where you find a house that looks beautiful and a pet that you want to hang out with, or maybe no pets. I am not a person who has been able to find no pet house sits, who has been able to book them, but maybe you have better luck than me. Dee has better luck than I do. So house sitting or just bopping even without house sitting, let that be a way that you go around for a while. Don't marry yourself to a location if you're not already sure that you're going to want to be there. Be free. Book an Airbnb, take your 3-4 suitcases, and if you don't love it there, pack up them suitcases and go to the next city. You can follow a tour around, right? Find a tour that goes, find a musician and follow them on tour if you want. Be free. We are so used to things holding us down, holding us in place, that we don't know the joy of just being able to float like a little hot air balloon. I just want to go. I just want to be wherever. So I saw this place on YouTube. I'm just going to go, right? A lot, I was going to say, not a lot, but a lot of people have asked me in the last few weeks or months about Uruguay, Montevideo. I mean, it's nice to be able to just be like, I think I'm gonna spend a couple weeks in Montevideo, see what they're talking about. Right? Just gonna go, see what they're talking about. Prices don't look that bad. It's a good time of year to be there. Be free. You don't have to be stuck. I don't mean stuck, tied to one place. At some point, you might get to a place and you'll be like, I'm staying. Okay, thank you. I'm staying. I'm getting an apartment, or I'm getting a house, or whatever. I'm staying here. But you don't have to move that way. You can absolutely move abroad. You can leave the country just by seeing the world. 3-4 suitcases and what's it called? I was going to say Vimeo. What's it, VRBO? 4 suitcases and a VRBO, or an Airbnb account, or a Marriott Vacation Villas account. It's your world. See some places you like. Siesta in the Sun says, I saw some tree houses in Wales. I want to go. Right? It's really nice. It feels really free. You feel really free when you can just be like, oh, this place, that looks interesting. Let me go check it out. Right? I Googled it, or I Googled it. I went to Momondo and I saw ticket prices, and that's within my budget. And I looked at some Airbnbs or some VRBOs or Marriott Vacation Villas or whatever. They're in my budget. I'm going. It feels really good to just be like, and for that to be your normal life. Right? At some point, it just becomes your normal life. Oh, that's how I live. I find a place I like and I go. And I find a place, if I get there and I don't like it, I leave. Once you have a home in another place, things become a little different. Like I said, Portugal, if your home becomes Portugal, you have to be there for X number of days out of the year if you're on the D7 visa. Right? Some countries have those requirements and some countries don't. If you're, yeah, so, and then, be free. Be free. Did I answer that question? I hope so. Colombia versus Costa Rica. Colombia cities are more city. Costa Rica, San Jose, Costa Rica it's just not a city. It's like Atlanta, where it's just everything is spread out. It's not a city. There's no main place. There's no walkability. The people are the best people in the world. I still think they're the best people in the world. I think the people in Costa Rica, they're the best people. Ticos, I think Ticos are the best. They're my favorite people. And I know if I lived in Costa Rica, I would have friends. Some places you're always going to be an outsider. But if I was in Costa Rica, I would have friends. I would have community. I do have a friend in Costa Rica. I got two friends, but listen, I haven't talked to them in months. I'm the worst. But if I lived in Costa Rica, I would have Costa Rican friends and I would be involved in community, but it's just not a city. Everything is so spread out and you need a car. It's not the most walkable. You can make it walkable. I'm a hermit. So for me, it was pretty walkable because I don't like to go places. I like to be in the house. But for anybody else coming to visit me, she don't want a car, right? It's not walkable to other people. And then there's some other things that I'm doing that I'm tired of talking about on the internet that you'll hear about it later. That just made sense for me to go to Colombia as opposed to Costa Rica. I think it's an infrastructure issue. Bogota is a city, right? It's got the infrastructure that Costa Rica did not have. But Costa Rica is amazing. Costa Rica, the people of Costa Rican people are amazing. Now, Costa Rica has a lot of Americans and Canadians. You'll see a lot of white people. I tried to book an Airbnb in Costa Rica for the week the week after Christmas, because I thought maybe I'd go visit my friends. And girl, you can't find any. It's full of white people. It's full of Americans and Canadians. Bogota is not, because it's not that kind of city. It's not a city for tourists, right? Bogota is not that. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate not having everywhere I go, there's Americans speaking English all loud in the restaurants. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. I hope you're still here, Sparkles 93. Happy Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for your work liberating Black women and giving us the roadmap to experience freedom from the US. Thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate that. I hope you're still here. Oh no, girl, that was an hour ago. I'm sorry. I missed it. I'm not good at these things. I'm new to live streaming. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Super chats on this channel go into the Vacarian Sabbatical Fund, and we give the money to a Black woman so she can not work, so she can take a sabbatical. So thank you very much for that. All right. Yeah, same with Belize. Too many white people, too many white Americans. Yeah. Yeah, so Bogota doesn't have that problem because Bogota is chilly, cool weather for Colombia. Bogota is cool weather for Colombia. And it's more, I don't think it's crazy much. I don't think it's significantly more, it's more expensive than Medellin, I think, but not like over the top expensive compared to Medellin, but it is more expensive. So if you see if you see a white American person in Bogota, they probably got transferred for their job. It's not what people think of when they think of Colombia. Bogota is not what you think of when you think of Colombia. And so that means I had to be around a whole bunch of American white people. Last time I flew into Costa Rica, I was like, what is going on here? The whole line in the immigration line was just Americans and their like big old families, white families, like 6 and 8 kids. I was like, what is this? The shuttle picks you up at the main airport and takes you to the car rental place. And the van was full of children. I'm like, what is going on here? Oh, when is the next group call for house sitter school? Good question, Shantae. I don't have an answer. I can have an answer. December. Oh, I do have an answer. Look at this. December 7th is the next group coaching call. So if you've purchased house sitter school in October or November, December 7th is the next house sitter school group coaching call. If you purchase the bundle, the house sitter school bundle. Good question. Dover native. Hello, neighbor. Visiting Panama, February 26th. Good. Wonderful. I hope you enjoy it. Connect with the Black community in Panama. So inside of the Exodus Summit community at exodussummit.com/community, you'll see some women who are in Panama already. There is Black expats in Panama, Charlotte Van Horn's community, and Black women expats in Panama. Connect with those communities because they get together all the time. You know, one thing about some Black people in Panama, they getting together. So connect with those communities and you may get to meet somebody and make some friends. When we just interviewed Rebecca on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel, she had some really surprisingly good stories about community, considering she's only been in that place for a few weeks. I know I say I'm not going to tell you everything, and then I tell you everything, but I'm going to tell you, but I still want you to watch the video. She got to Panama and met some people in her building. And then they were like, well, why don't you just, we're going back to the US for a few weeks. Why don't you just stay in our apartment while we're gone instead of you paying for this rental? Like community, right? Community. Yes. If everyone who, hey, Shantae, yes, everybody who got the bundle since the last call, yes, I'll email out the link, house. Okay, so inside of Exodus ASAP, you get house sitter school, but Shantae's asking about separately. I have a house sitter bundle, new house sitter bundle. If you get that new house sitter bundle, there is a group coaching call that comes with it. It's usually 2 or 3 people. It's usually nice and small. You get a one-time call. So it's the same but different. So house sitter school is included with ASAP, but not the house sitter school group coaching call. But if you're in ASAP, maybe I should do some sort of house sitting. I may do it. That's a good idea. Nina, are you in ASAP now? Or are you, let me see. Well, anyway, maybe I should do one because we've not talked house sitting inside of ASAP, but there is the house sitter school. House sitter school is in there. I know it's confusing for some people. Let's move on. I hope that answered the questions. Okay. Yes to the email, no to it being included. Okay, Nina, let's find a time. I know it's the holidays, but let's find a time when we can talk about house sitting. The quiz told ADC to go to Dakar, Senegal. Any thoughts? Are you interested in the surfing? It's a place people go to learn to surf. Rashida went to Dakar. I would look on Rashida's channel on YouTube. She's at Rashida. I would look on Rashida's channel at her videos on Senegal. I haven't been there. How long will it take me to get this video up? I haven't been there. Well, let me just give you her channel link. You can look for the Senegal videos. My thoughts. I don't have thoughts on it. I think younger people, so Rashida was 40, probably 44, 45 when she went. I think people in their 30s and 20s really love Senegal. Like, it's kind of like a party and brunch. It's like that kind of vibe. She did take surfing lessons, which were hard. Surfing is hard. Okay. All right. Saw the school. I saw the school. Okay, inside of ASAP. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, it's house sitting season. Usually in November, I talk about house sitting a lot, but I've been on this Great Black Migration thing, and I haven't want to talk about anything else because I want you to move abroad. But it's house sitter season. If you have a Trusted House Sitters membership, go ahead and look for a house sit. This is the time of year where even if you don't have any experience house sitting, you can book a house sit because people are moving around, traveling. I mean, people are traveling. My letter at house sit, let's see, my letter inside of the new house sitter toolkit, plus your membership to Trusted House Sitters. That's your pathway. Get my toolkit. Here's the link to the new house sitter toolkit. It's a free download. Inside of the toolkit, you'll see my affiliate link for you to join Trusted House Sitters to get your membership. Go ahead and do those things and get ready. Okay? Get ready. Hi, Rashni. Yeah, still here. I think I'm finishing up. I So Connie Perry said she has said that she was making the pineapple upside down cakes, but I smell a turkey. I think or celery. I smell gravy, like a celery thing. So she must have put a turkey breast in the oven also or something. We already had our Thanksgiving. We had the works. Well, we had the works over several days. The first day we had turkey and turkeys. I say stuffing. I know it's dressing. We had turkey and stuffing, cranberry sauce. I made the mashed sweet potatoes. I like whipped sweet potatoes. And then the next day we added in my mom added in the macaroni and cheese. And then the day after that, they added in the greens. I think that's the order it went. Like it was like, we gonna have a whole Thanksgiving eventually. So by the fourth day, we had everything. Rolls. By the fourth day, we had it all. But it took several days to get there. So I've been having Thanksgiving since I've been here. And we go to my cousin's house tomorrow. So I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what's happening down there. I smell celery. I don't know. When I came upstairs, she was making her pineapple upside down cakes. But now there's definitely celery happening. I hope she's not making a whole turkey because we really can't deal with another 4 days of turkey when we're just coming off of 4 days of turkey. Wonder what else it could be. I don't know what else it would be. I don't know. That's the thing we don't get into pecan pie. If somebody has it, I'll eat it, but nobody in my family makes it. I don't think. We just went to the Amish store. So there's Amish in Dover. And we just went to the Amish grocery store and there was a pecan pie. There was pecan pie in the store, but we didn't buy it. That's not our thing. My dad makes good sweet potato pies. So he made sweet potato pies and she's making the pineapple upside down cake. My dad's family are like when we go there, there's never any concern about what we have and who made it. It's all good. It's all good. I got no concerns, no questions. Just where do I sit? Where's my seat? No concerns. So it's I'm excited for tomorrow. Mr. Fleetwood says the information you share is much appreciated. You're very welcome. I've shared your page with all 5 of my daughters, 36 to 25. Tell them, let's go. Let's go. Let's get the plans together. Thank you very much for sharing. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm a pecan. I say pecan. I'm from Delaware. I'm not saying no pecan. That's a pecan. Ms. Allen talking. Thank you very much for the super chat. Stephanie, you have been so instrumental in the decision I've made to move on now. I told my cousin about you and the Exodus Summit and she attended. Oh, good. She's now on board too. Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you think y'all will go together? That's wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing, friends. So yeah, I do believe that there is a great Black migration happening. And I do believe it's happening because we need to get up out of here. And the community of Black people who are leaving the country are sharing good information. They're sharing. This is not a situation of I got mine, now you get yours. Figure it out. I figured it out, you figure it out. This is a very sharing and giving movement, a very sharing and giving community. So I appreciate each and every one of you for passing it on, right? I appreciate each and every one of you for sharing it too. Just like somehow you ended up here. I appreciate you for bringing somebody else here. Thank you for that. Okay. All right, friends. Well, I'm gonna go investigate what's happening down there. I don't know. Maybe I'll let you know. Saturday, I'm live alone. I don't have any guests on Saturday. And I got to leave to go to the airport as soon as the live stream is done. So we're going to get in here and get out on Saturday. We're going to talk some things and make some progress and get going on Saturday. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day tomorrow. I hope you eat everything you love and see everyone you love, and have a fantastic, relaxed, and fun day and weekend. Thanks for being here, friends. Thanks for talking with me. I thought it was going to be a short one. Thanks for letting me say what I had to say. Thank you for being good community members and to each other, not just to me, but also to each other. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys so much. Grateful. I'm super thankful for this community and for this space. I didn't know it was going to be anything when I started it, right? I made this YouTube channel in 2019 because I knew 8 Black women who I was like, I want her to quit her job for a while and leave the country. And so let me share how I did it so that when she's ready, these videos will be here. And it's grown to this. It's grown to more connection and community than I've ever had in my life. And so I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful to be a member of this community. I'm so grateful for you who come every day and make this, or however often you come around here and make it a place that I'm so happy to be, a place where I can just be here swiveling in my chair, and 2 hours and 11 minutes have passed and I didn't even realize it, right? A place where there's grace and kindness and support. I'm so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful for you. So thank you for being here. And let's keep it going, okay? All right. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Have a great day. Bye.